Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Wrestling Guy podcast here on Election Day. I'm here with my Vice President, Ed.
Vote for Trump.
Vote for Trump? Shit. Hey, I'm already packing my bags.
Oh, that's right. What's his name said that?
Yeah, but the only thing is I don't understand. I'm not Mexican.
He's a wetback, actually. He was born in Panama. Where the fuck? But he's from.
Well, either way. So we're here live from the Wrestling Guy store where you can find all your WWE and Lucha Underground merchandise here at 6085 State Street, Huntington Park, California 90255. And we have a very special guest with us today.
Me.
Yeah, besides you, I'm sorry. And he is your 2016 Young Lions Cup winner, Mr. Brody King.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm going to start packing my bags for when Trump wins.
If Trump wins, you're gone too, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Biff. Who knew Biff was going to try to become president? You know?
Back to the future predicting a lot of things.
So I know. The Cubs, he predicted the Cubs. He was, what, a year off on the Cubs?
Yeah, but see, there's a theory on that one, too, because remember there was the strike? The baseball strike, so that could have alternated the timeline.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
The Simpsons predicted Donald Trump winning too, right?
Wait, did he win it? I don't watch the Simpsons anymore.
I don't know. I saw a meme or something about it. Anyways, so you won the 2016 the Young Lions Cup, and how did you feel winning the whole thing? Especially you're the first one from SoCal,
right? Yeah, because the other two failed.
It was definitely the biggest moment in my career so far. Going up there, I had no expectations. I think the best way to go about it is to expect that you're going to get out in the first round.
It's your first wrestling visit to NorCal, right?
Yeah.
Your first time.
Yeah, and it was really cool. It was really special. I mean, I guess we train this hard for those moments all the time, so it was cool to have that moment.
Totally marking out.
Yeah, you were watching
my living room.
Yeah, because I actually messaged you asking you, what are you doing? And you said, oh, I'm watching Brody King in the tournament.
And I told you he was going to win.
Yeah, as soon as he won, he messages me like, oh, he won, I told you. And I was like, that's cool.
It also felt especially good to be the first Southern California person to win it and the first Santino to win it.
Now, do you get, do you put any pressure on yourself because you're the first one to win it from SoCal?
I mean, I try not to. I'm just going to try to keep doing what I'm doing because, I mean, I guess it's working.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was cool seeing you against fucking super beasts and shit, like big-ass guys. Because I thought, like, a smaller guy was going to win at first, and I saw you, and I'm like, nah, I think he's going to get it. I think they're going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, last year's Young Lions Cup was crazy because I don't remember exactly who was in it, but I know that Doug was like one of the bigger guys in it. Yeah. And it's like this year it was like those 5 or 6 guys that were over 6 foot and like 200 pounds. I'm just like, damn.
It didn't really look like young lions. Right? They're all beasts.
They're all now. You're a big guy, and now like you said, you've seen the wrestling landscapes changing a little bit.
Yeah.
Do they? Do you feel kind of like the odd man out now that you see the change, or do you still feel pretty confident about being a big guy?
Well, I mean, it all depends. Like, I think I've only shown a small fraction of what I'm capable of on wrestling shows, but it's like, I mean, at training, when I go to Los Luchas training, I'm keeping up with everyone. I can pretty much do.
Yeah, because you can tell you can do a lot of the flips. And
I can do pretty much everything. I can't do a shooting star press, though, yet.
Don't do the Brock Lesnar.
That was awesome, though.
Yeah. Awesome. All right.
I really thought he died. I was like, I didn't get to see Owen really die, because they cut off the camera.
I did break my leg doing a moonsault, though, so hopefully we're not going to repeat that.
So, what is it that influenced you to train in the first place? That's kind of.
I mean, I've been a fan my whole life. Like, my dad watched it with me when I was a kid. Probably, since before I can remember.
WCW or WWE? Yeah.
WWF, all the way. The only reason I ever watched WCW was for the cruiserweights.
Yeah.
And I hated. I mean, the NWO was cool, but I was always a DX guy. I never liked Sting. I always thought he was just a ripoff of The Undertaker, who was always my favorite wrestler. But yeah, my path to wrestling was strange because it's like when I graduated high school, I wanted to try wrestling, but I lived in Palmdale, which is like an hour and a half north of here. And there was no schools anywhere. And the only independent wrestling that I knew of was PWG. So I'd always go on their website and look up if there was any schools or anything, and I couldn't find anything. And then probably almost 10 years after high school, one of my friends was dating this girl that was the in-arena host for the Kings, and met this guy, Augie, who was a big hockey fan and also used to be an independent wrestler.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, hey, if your boyfriend ever wants to have any private lessons or try it out, just let me know, and I'll take him to school.
Lessons. I fell for that one. I was like that, and it said wrestling school, and I went in.
So he took a couple privates, and once I started seeing the pictures and stuff of it, I was like, hey man, where is this? What are you doing? I have to know about this.
So you're always a PWG fan then?
I mean, I didn't really follow it that much, but like I knew about it, and like I'd always watch like the preview stuff on YouTube and stuff, but I didn't like buy the DVDs or anything.
Oh, okay. I totally saw him mark out at Bogo. So.
I mean, there's some undeniably crazy shit that happens there. I think if you don't mark out for some of it, then you have no soul.
Yeah, he does.
No, when you but go ahead. You didn't get to finish.
So yeah, I mean he started, or he was like, it's at this place called Santinos, and they have a show next Friday. Augie wants us all to go if you guys are interested in starting. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm in. And we went in. It was April 2014, and it was the Dynamite D reunion show. So the main event was Chaos versus Che, and Chaos came out as Voodoo Chaos. And I was just like, what the hell is happening here? It's like a little storage area in fucking Bell Gardens. I'm like, where am I? And it's like, and like I've been going to punk rock shows since I was like 13 years old. Right. So this wasn't like too weird for me. And but it had like the same atmosphere and the same vibe, and just seeing like
a gig or some shit.
Yeah, just seeing this like magic happen in this little place in Bell Gardens was like, it felt really special. So literally the day after, I signed up for their beginner course, which started a month later.
And what year was this?
2014. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Now you talked about the punk and all that. What was first for you, the music or wrestling?
I mean, my first love was wrestling because, like I said before, I can remember. So it was probably like 3 or 4 years old. I'm like jumping off the couch onto my dad, doing elbow drops, pretending like I'm the Undertaker or the Warrior. But yeah, so that was always my big thing all the way through almost junior high, and then like junior high was the real pinnacle point for me. Going through puberty and stuff, and finding punk rock music, and like not really fitting in with like the jocks and stuff like that, but also not like wanting to be like a nerd. Right. So I found music, and that was my outlet. That was like, I mean, my first exposure to a real band was the kids in my neighborhood. We used to skateboard around, and I went into a Warehouse Music, and I said, I want skateboard music. I didn't know what punk rock was. And over the loudspeaker, they were playing Bad Religion, Stranger Than Fiction, and I was like, I want this CD. And they gave me the CD, and it was like Bad Religion, Pennywise, and AFI were like my first set of bands.
I think people don't know what Warehouse Music is.
Yeah.
You remember Warehouse Music?
Yeah, but see, I grew up here, so I went to Amiibo.
I mean, it's the same thing, but it was like more widespread.
Yeah, Warehouse Music was, for those that don't know, it was an actual, it was a record store first, and then it became like all CDs.
Yeah, I think they had movies too, and they would buy used shit.
They had a lot of wrestling stuff too.
Yeah. You used to be able to find exclusive.
They had toys and stuff, yeah.
Especially like Sam Goody's. You remember Sam Goody's?
Yeah.
Sam Goody's had it all.
They had everything.
Tower Records was awesome. I remember going over there.
I used to go to Tower Records. Did you ever go to Tower Records to get the CDs like at midnight, because they would release it at, they would always come out on Tuesdays. So Monday at midnight they would release it because it was considered Tuesday morning. And you'd have a big old crowd of people there.
Yeah, those were like crappy back. It's like shit, dude. I want that Eminem CD.
Oh, forget you. What was the first wrestling match that caught your eye? Like, what was?
Man, I don't know. Like, I try to think back of like my wrestling knowledge as far as like past stuff is so bad. Like,
butcher status.
I think because I stopped watching it when I was like 11 or 12, I just kind of forgot most of it. So now I'm actually going back and revisiting a lot of it. But like when I went to, I don't remember which one it was. This is also bad. The WrestleMania where it was Taker versus Michaels 2 in Arizona.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend at the time had gotten me tickets with one of my friends, and we went. So that was like that's probably gonna always be one of the biggest matches in my mind is Taker versus Michaels 2. That match was insane.
That was a good match.
Yeah.
I could imagine live.
Yeah, like watching Sean do the moonsault from like the ring post to the announcer booth was like, holy shit! Like these guys just showed all the younger guys on the card. What was up, and that was also the CM Punk versus Rey Mysterio in the hair versus mask match.
That's when they did and that's what led to the. Was that what led? No, he was straight edge.
That was the Straight Edge Society. That's what got me back into wrestling was CM Punk with the Straight Edge Society, and he was just like, the whole straight edge means I'm better than you. I was just like, yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome.
I don't think people realize how good that whole Straight Edge Society was. That whole storyline was just. I remember him going to house shows and just getting told off by people in the crowd because they kept telling him that Jesus hated him, and because he was. I think if the masses understood really what straight edge was, then it would have gotten over a lot more. But like, it's such an underground thing. So I mean, there was people that haven't watched wrestling in years that were like, "You have to watch this. This is awesome." Like all my punk rock friends are just like, "This is so cool." But yeah, who do you mirror yourself like as far as moveset and everything? Like who do you try to?
I mean, I picked from a lot of people. When I didn't even know a lot of these guys when I started wrestling, and then going into wrestling, I found out about them. But like guys like Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, like those are guys that were innovators in their time. Like you never saw a 6'7" guy doing a drop kick in the 70s and 80s. Like that was unheard of.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that Dr. Death does is insane. Like those are probably, and like Bam Bam Terry Gordy, even Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah.
Bam Bam Bigelow was awesome.
Fucking Bam Bam doesn't get enough. They don't give him enough credit for the stuff
that
he would do.
He did some awesome shit.
I think because people saw him only in WWE, and you know how WWE kind of limits.
The ECW stuff was awesome. WCW too, yeah.
The ECW stuff, I think, if people were to go back and watch what he did in ECW, I don't think they would believe a big guy like that can move the way he did.
Oh, that's pretty good. So what was your first match that you did? Like, what was that? Like, was it like a battle royal like everybody else, or?
Well, I mean,
a legit match.
My unofficial debut was I was Hillbilly Jim in our flashback battle royal.
That's dope.
And then, but my debut was against Darwin Finch.
I like that guy. He's pretty cool.
Was it at Santinos?
It was, yeah.
Hillbilly Jim. That was the first guy I got to see wrestle. That's who when my cousin and I were watching. Show my age here. Saturday morning cartoons, and they used to show like Alvin and Chipmunks and all that. And he goes, "You want to watch something really cool?" And I'm like, "Sure." And so he flips the channel, and it's wrestling, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" And he goes, "No, it's kind of like boxing." And the first guy I saw was Hillbilly Jim against like a jobber back when Superstars was like about jobbers, and
SoCal.
yeah. And then it just got me hooked, and I was like, "Oh!" So I remember Sunday morning I was flipping the channels, and I was looking for it, and I found Wrestling Challenge because Superstars was on Saturday, and Wrestling Challenge was on Sunday. Yes, I am old. But that's when I used to like the gimmicks,
right?
Like Hogan and Brutus.
But they were very like fucking cartoonish.
Yeah,
that's why I like WCW better because they were.
But even I think WCW, even when they first started, was really cartoonish.
Yeah, they stole a lot of the WWE shit. I try to copy them, but that's why I like WCW because I remember when I first started watching wrestling, it was the WWF stuff, but then my cousins and all that made me watch AWA stuff and all that stuff. So I started watching it. I like that they didn't have gay-ass characters and all that. And no promos, just fucking wrestling.
Well, the first guy, when I got older, that I saw that I really liked as far as like wrestling, was Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Yeah.
I just thought like, wow, this is actually okay. Now I see what people like about wrestling because him and Bret Hart and that Intercontinental.
He had it all.
Yeah,
he had it all.
It was just like.
Well, I've told you my favorite match of all time is Ric Flair versus Mr. Perfect and Raw.
Yeah.
It's like the best match for me, like perfect match.
Do you have a favorite match that you besides? I mean, you said
besides
Taker,
your own.
Well, you said Taker Michaels too, but is there one that you just say like, damn, this is probably?
I actually have a list here. Let me. I have a small list. I mean, one of them is definitely Dynamite Kid versus Tiger Mask.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that's the pinnacle of wrestling, of like cruiserweights in that time, and they just had it all.
Dynamite Kid doesn't get enough credit either.
No,
I think people just think of him as the British Bulldogs, but they don't get to see what he did outside of that tag team. That was just like. Fuck.
I would say that my favorite match of all time is Dr. Death versus Kobashi.
Yeah.
There's just so many crazy there's like parts where Dr. Death is just giving him just straight up Germans that look like he's just crushing his head. It's just two big men just going for it. Also, like anything with when Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen were teaming, and against the Funks, like that stuff is really good too. So I mean, a lot of my favorite stuff is from Japan in the 80s.
And so you really do for coming into the business a little later, right? In like 2014, you really do your homework on all the matches.
I try.
Yeah. Do you watch wrestling all day, or? Well, I'm sure it's hard because you do the double life, right? You do the music and the.
Yeah, well, I mean, I try to watch it as much as I can. Sometimes my wife tells me to put away my phone and get off the computer, but yeah, I watch it.
I've broken up with chicks because I watch it.
Yeah, it's all consuming at this point.
Yeah. Now, how's the music career going?
It's good. I mean, we started as a band that never really wanted to, I guess, go for it. Like we just knew that we just wanted to be a local band, and that ended up becoming a lot more than just that. But we kind of just take it one step at a time. We all have, jobs and stuff like that, and then we got our other priorities. So we kind of let those take priority over that, but we still do quite a bit.
You guys just did a tour of not Europe. It was
the last tour we did was the East Coast. We went from Chicago to South Carolina, and before that, we toured in Japan.
Japan, yeah, because I remember when I was on the road with Douglas, we were in Arizona, and we were talking about you, and he said, "Oh yeah, he's up in
good things or bad
Japan."
things?
Oh, good things. Good.
Well,
that's what I was gonna say. For the last year and a half, that's all I heard about is Brody King, and how up and coming you were, and how talented you were, and all that, and then you win this Lions Cup. So, I mean, I'm sure you have a lot more that you want to accomplish.
Oh yeah.
I mean, do you want to go to Japan or Mexico? And
I would say that I would love to go to Mexico. I mean, I've been hitting up whoever I know of. I know Kevin Kleinrock has been really helpful in pushing my name out there to guys down south. And I mean, even like OWA and FCW have been good outlets to try to mingle with those guys. But yeah, Mexico would be awesome. But I'd say right now Japan is probably my biggest goal.
Oh, sorry. He has a little bit of.
I'm a monster. In there, So, of all the stuff you've done, what's like your favorite match that you've done so far? Like, what's that match that's like, I did good? Because I'm pretty sure you rewatch your stuff.
Oh yeah, of course. I actually.
And you cringe.
My favorite match was 2 weeks ago against Douglas James.
What was that?
It was at Santinos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Well, they had a show.
Thanks for coming in.
You can't go to that show because you get there, it's like all filled up. There's no booze. It's like
it's a family. It's a family show. That was the Dynamite Tribute, right?
Yeah. I have my daughter, so you know how it is. I have to pick my shows. I don't have her.
That's being a good dad.
Yeah,
I respect that.
I take her to shows. She just takes her tablet. I know in that place is so small, so I can't do that.
You probably tell her like, look, and she's like, yeah, whatever.
Shoni likes Thunder Rosa, Sage Sin, and that's it. So all the makeup people.
Way to make our guests feel bad.
Hey, I wear makeup too.
Oh, that's right. So what did you like about that match? What about that match?
I mean,
where can we see this match?
It actually just got uploaded on YouTube today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna check
on the Santino Brothers channel. Me and Doug, like I was there the first day that Doug came in the door, and like he's, you know, he did MMA before. He was a successful jiu-jitsu and wrestling. So like he came in.
You stole my pizza again. Like
his pizza gimmick. That is not a gimmick, my friend. That is a real thing.
I think you gave him a lot of crap over it. Right?
We can get into that a little later. His pizza thing is a problem. It's not a gimmick. If anyone's addicted to anything, it's him and pizza. I don't even remember where I was going. Oh, so yeah, I was there on his first day when like he came in, and I think we were like in the intermediate to advanced class, and he comes in and he's just like, they're like, oh well, why don't you try to do a couple bumps, or why don't you try to do a couple rolls? And he said he had like, you know, a week or two experience before that, and he was just like naturally gifted. So like I was just like, God, fuck this guy. But like, you know, over time it was just like me and him became really strong training partners, and like I think we have chemistry in the ring. We just kind of know where each other's going with things. So that match was really awesome because it was like neither one of us really had the upper hand because we all just kind of knew where the other one was going with it. And we didn't really hold anything back.
Who won?
I won. It was a questionable win.
I totally got to take that match back.
Ruby might have had a hand in distracting him while I got the upper hand, but yeah, we beat the shit out of each other, and it was everything I've ever wanted in a match so far.
Oh, that's cool.
And then a week later, you win the cup.
Yeah.
And he wins
the
SCW
title. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys partied with some pizza, right?
Well, we haven't gotten to yet, but like I said, so Doug and I used to live together, and one day, I swear to God, he would treat it almost like it was a drug deal. He would meet the pizza man outside so that like you wouldn't hear the knock on the door. And my room was like in front of the house, so I could hear people talking outside. I was like, what the fuck is that? I look outside, and Doug's like handing the pizza guy money and exchanging. One day, he ordered pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He ordered 3 pizzas in one day.
Wow.
It's not a gimmick. I swear to God.
I like that, dude.
Is there a specific pizza place he likes or something? Is there like...
He likes all pizza.
Really?
He'll go to 7-Eleven, eat pizza. He'll go to Domino's. He doesn't give a shit.
You know, it's funny because the whole time, every time we would go to Arizona and we'd ask, like, is anybody hungry? He would never say, like, yeah, and buy pizza. So I was like, oh, maybe it's just a gimmick. But now that I hear
the most fucked up part is it's like he eats an entire pizza and he still has a 6-pack. And it's like,
yeah,
what the fuck? I'm like trying to eat healthy. And I'm just like, what happened? Get it together.
Oh, that's too much.
Damn. Pizza, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I've never done that though. See, that's like my normal stuff. But I have a pizza body. That motherfucker's cut.
I did it once, probably back in middle school. You know, when you're going through, you know, through puberty and you're hungry and you can eat anything and you still, well, kind of like Doug is now. I did that once. I remember I ordered like the 2 medium pizzas from Domino's for lunch. I ate both medium pizzas, and then I ordered 2 more for dinner, and I ate all of them. And I was like, okay, now forget it. This belly ain't going anywhere if I do that.
I think he started eating too much pizza at one point because everyone started ribbing him, calling him Fat Doug. But I mean, Fat Doug was far and away better than any of us. So we're all just like, yeah, Fat Doug. We're just like, we're like. But and then like a week later he had a 6-pack and we're like, well, never mind. This sucks.
Now, you just got married, right?
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And is she a big fan of wrestling or?
No.
No.
I mean, she's just a fan of me, I guess.
Yeah.
She's dabbled in training. Like she went through the beginner course at Santinos.
Oh, okay.
But then like all the stuff with the wedding and everything else, and she has a really successful makeup career right now, so life was just kind of not letting her do that at the time, but hopefully she gets back into it at some point.
Just remember, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's taken me 19 years to know that, to learn.
Yeah, I had to learn that in wrestling that I can't work with her really, because it's like today we're learning a stinger splash in the corner, and then you see me coming at my wife, and she's like out of my face. I'm like, okay,
That's funny.
sorry.
No, we were
I
talking.
would love to do that to baby mama.
That's how I ended up with 3 kids.
A stinger splash in the corner.
A finger
Nice.
in the corner.
That's true, Cindy.
You know what we were talking about off the air, and you know how you said what out of 30 students, maybe 1%, 1.5%.
1.5.
So this leads me to my question. When you first started, were you close to just saying, and you saw how hard it was? Were you kind of like,
No.
I made a mistake here?
Nope. I went. I feel like I was one of the few people that go in knowing that it's going to be hard, and like knowing that that these guys aren't big, huge, jack guys for no reason. It's like those guys aren't naturally like that. They have to work for that, and I think it's just maybe I was being older. I have a more realistic idea of what to expect. But yeah, I mean, it killed me for the first month or two. I mean, Robbie Phoenix, he doesn't hold back. It's just cardio after, like at least an hour of that, and then you go into training, and then you're like, oh, now we gotta train. Like I want to go die right now.
Yeah, like being the smarks that me and all my friends are when we go to shows. Most of actually all the Santino guys that I've seen, you never see them gassed out.
Right.
Like you never see them like catching their breath or anything, and like not to diss other schools, but I've seen those guys. They'll be like gassed out like 5 minutes in. It's like,
I mean,
none of the Santino guys.
Joey and Robbie have definitely. That's always been their thing. Was, they're like in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the match. You don't want to look across. You don't want your opponent to look across the ring and you see you sucking air. You want to be the person being like, "Let's go, fucker! Come on, get up."
Because what did Doug have, like a 42-minute match with Blue?
Yeah,
42 minutes.
I mean, I think my endurance is pretty good, but I don't know if it's 42 minutes good.
So Doug lasts longer than you, then?
Maybe let's not have like an Iron Man match.
Yeah, like 42-minute match.
And he didn't look. I watched the clips, and he doesn't look like he's huffing and puffing at all.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
just like
you never see him.
He's a machine.
Even with all that,
It's not human.
Don't say the machine, because we've had controversy since Friday with that name.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. We stole my name.
Yeah, we might get a cease and desist over here from Brian Cage for the machine, calling Doug the machine. For all that pizza he eats, though, damn, he's fucking good cardio.
That's what I'm saying. Like these things just don't add up. He's not human.
I mean, yesterday I was just doing some basketball drills because I'm coaching basketball, and I was already huffing and puffing with like 10 minutes. I was like, damn, I shouldn't be working with these young kids anymore. What was the hardest thing for you in training that you discovered was like, fuck?
I mean, just the cardio.
The cardio?
Like, yeah, I mean, the physical stuff was always, it came pretty naturally to me. And I mean, I've always been pretty naturally strong. So like the moves and stuff were fine, but it was just getting into ring shape and getting into the cardio. Because I mean, we would do these things like Robbie has a deck of cards, and every suit has a different exercise. So it's like push-ups, crunches, burpees, and up downs or whatever, or squats. And like every number is what you do, and then like it's like 10s are 10, jacks are 12, queens are 15, kings are 20, and then aces are 30. So you're doing like 300 of each of these things by the end of the deck of cards. You just want to die, and then you have to finish the last 2 hours of training. So
when somebody goes in the first day and you see them on the last day graduating, you pretty much know they're gonna be in it for a while. Or have you seen guys that?
There's been time like I mean I hope for the best for all of them, but there is definitely times where like you see the guy graduate the beginner class, and then he never starts the intermediate class. You're like, you just went through all that hell for nothing. Like, this is when it starts getting fun. Yeah. This is when you start learning the good shit. And then they just quit. And you're like, what are you doing? Like, where'd you go? And I'll hit them up sometimes on Facebook if I was, like, friendly with them. And I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? They're just like, oh, work won't let me. And everyone comes up with their own. No one wants to be a quitter, so they come up with their own excuse. But it's a strange thing.
And it is a dedication. I mean, you just can't decide, one day to the next, you're going to do it and then quit. It's something, if you're going to do it, I think you better do it.
Oh, yeah.
I understand that work, will come in and everything. But, I mean,
you should be able to make it work.
You always can make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I work. I
juggle 2 women, and I made that shit work.
I work at a minimum of 50 hours a week, and I still go to training 3 days a week. I mean, before I debuted, and even after, I was going 4 to 5 days a week. I just couldn't stop. I didn't want to stop. I love it. So, I mean.
And that's true. I mean, if you love something so much, you should be able to find the time.
You always find it.
I mean, I sometimes myself, being a dad and whatever, I see that I can, for that basketball that I'm talking about, I said, look, I'm sitting at home sometimes on Mondays and Wednesdays. If I can watch Raw for 2-3 hours, or if I can watch SmackDown for 2 hours and Lucha for an hour, I go, why can't I find 2-3 hours to go train some kids at basketball?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing in wrestling. I see so many wrestlers that are commenting on Raw or SmackDown or Lucha or whatever, and I'm like, but then you hear guys say, well, you should go train, and they don't go train. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I think it's like when you play baseball or basketball.
Oh, yeah.
You always have to get better.
Yeah, it's a bizarre thing to me. Like, there's a lot of wrestlers that when they start working, they stop training. It's like, why do you think Kobe Bryant was that great for that many years? It's because he fucking right after that championship game, he was training the next fucking day. It's like this is a perishable skill, and doing it once a week at a show is not going to keep you in the shape that you need to be in.
Now, does it bother you if you see like a guy? Well, no names, of course, but like if you see
like Danny Limelight, how he wouldn't train.
Oh yeah, if you see a guy that doesn't train and is getting pushed, but maybe you're not getting that same push and you're training 3 or 4 times, does it kind of, not a jealousy, but I'm saying like, does it kind of sting like saying, wait a minute, you're pushing this guy who probably steps in the ring only when he has a show, but
stuff like that, it can definitely get to you mentally. I try to just ignore it for the most part. But I think it's always kind of in the back of your head. But then, like winning the Young Lions Cup, it's like, well, all of my hard work is paid off until this point. So now I'm just going to work harder to the next point. So what's next?
Yeah.
I like that you take advantage of all the seminars and everything. You could tell which wrestlers really want it because, you always see them talking about training and all that. I'd rather see that than see some stupid promo that sucks. Like, they all suck at promos, dude. But, yeah, so I like that you do that and everything. But I'm seeing it as that, like, what goals do you have for the upcoming year? Now that you already accomplished something that you probably didn't even think you were going to get.
Well, I mean, I just sent in an application to, like, the Ring of Honor seminar tryout. So, I mean, hopefully that works out. I mean, I'm just going to keep sending them until they accept me at some point, and then I'll just keep going until they sign me at some point. But, yeah, I mean, next year I really want to get to the East Coast. I mean, I have a few friends that are workers out there, and hopefully I can get on some shows and start doing it out there because, I mean, it always feels like Southern California doesn't get the respect it deserves.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe I just have to go out there and show them why Southern California deserves respect.
That's this like SoCal, but I mean, most of the stuff I like to watch is East Coast stuff. Like, it's crazy how good the stuff's.
Well, in your guys' opinion, what's the difference from the East Coast workers to like to the West Coast workers? I mean, that makes you want to watch over there.
I think. I mean, I love Lucha Libre. I love it. A lot of it doesn't really make sense story and psychology wise, but like my trainers are Los Luchas, Zocre and Phoenix Star, and they have blended American psychology into Lucha Libre, which is like huge. So now you get to see like these PWG style stuff where it makes sense. Where you're not, it's like, well, that guy was he just took like a brain buster from the top rope, and now he's up and running circles around the other guy. But I don't know, that it's just I guess it's always been that way, right? I mean, the East Coast, I think it's just more respected out there or something. I don't know.
Especially because it has more eyes. Because like WWE always picks up. the East Coast guys because I mean they're right there, so you obviously see them faster than the SoCal guys.
Do you think that maybe it goes back to what we said, where there's not as much to do on the East Coast, maybe on the West Coast, so that's what maybe fans kind of tend to flock more.
I
To
mean,
the East Coast, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe that's why.
What do you mean, not less to do?
Like, here, you see, like, we have shows that don't draw as well, and then so I don't think you get to see. Like,
I think that the wrestling business is still a little more well preserved on the East Coast. Like, I'd say the doors are pretty wide open, but it might be a little more closed door over there. Like, I talk to a lot of friends, and they say that there's still a lot of shitty little promotions that get 5 or 10 people, but there's promotions that get thousands of people, and that's not for nothing. They just work their asses off, and they promote, and like they get good talent, and I think that's is a big part of it is getting good talent.
Yeah, because some of the guys that wrestle over there once they come here, that's why I go to that show because like let's say like right now like I'm Riddle obsessed, so like when he came for Q Pro, I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do my weekend. I'm gonna fucking stay here and I'm gonna go to fucking Q Pro, and it's just because you see him in the East Coast killing it and shit, and they get to see all that talent all the time.
Yeah,
they're always fucking.
Well, that's why I
packed
said
shows.
maybe it goes back to that because promoters here they put on a show. Maybe they don't want to book somebody that's a little pricier because they feel like
they'll book like Ruben Iglesias. Like, who wants to see that guy? Nobody.
I went to a show. I wanted to see Mr. California.
Go to a show.
I wanted to go see.
I actually want to go to one of his shows.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is that guys like Mr. California are fucking over everywhere. Yeah. Like I when I was on tour, the tour manager was this dude from Philly, and he's just like, "Hey," so, like he found out that I was a wrestler, so we just started talking about it. He's just like, "Do you know this hardcore deathmatch wrestler from California?" I was like, "Mr. California." He goes, "Yes." I was just like, "Yes, I know who he is." It's like
that's funny.
Hey, it gets over.
Yeah,
I remember he had hit me up about doing the show, and I really tried to read what he wrote. It's like the worst spelling ever.
Now you do the lucha training, and everybody that comes in here and does the podcast and does the lucha training, they say that's like one of the hardest training sessions.
So yeah. it's hard to put. It's the most humbling experience of your life. I mean, I've talked about it with Joey Ryan before, and Joey Ryan's like, I consider myself a pretty seasoned guy, but then like I go to those surgeons, I feel like a beginner. It's nonstop from the time it starts, and Zocre is also a person that is not human, and he can do anything. Yeah. He can do anything with his body, and then he looks at you and he goes, "Okay, now you do it." And you're like, you're like 5'9" and 140 pounds. I'm 6'6", 275 pounds. This doesn't work out. He's like, "It's easy." And you're like, "No, it's not." He's just like, "Just try it." And then like you end up doing it, and then you're like, "Well, like I guess he has a point."
Yeah, he was one of my that tag team was one of my favorite SoCal guys.
Yeah.
I remember when I started watching it, I used to go to the NWA showcase. So I used to follow them at some of the crappy lucha shows, and they were the highlight of that. So I've been watching them for like 12 years already. It's
crazy because it's like they are the perfect combination because Zocre is the high flyer and he can do everything. He can do anything. And then Phoenix Star he's strong as fuck for his size. Like he bases me for anything for no problem. I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. It's like I don't want to give anybody like if some dude is like my size and they're like complaining about basing, I'm just like, listen, fucker, like if this dude can do it, you can do it.
That's crazy.
I'm not, one of the things I hear about online is that bigger guys last longer. Not like that either.
I don't know.
Are built to in the wrestling business. You think so? Like, you could take the bumps and, and then you look like, because you know how they say, like, that's why Vince McMahon likes big guys.
So that's why
because they don't break down as easily.
That's why Seville's jaw got broken by a girl?
Yeah. Something like that.
Is that what you're trying to
say? I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, there's a lot of little guys that last forever, too. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird question. But I think it's because like a lot of big guys kind of formed to that big guy wrestler, so they don't do a lot of crazy shit. And it's like you have the guys that are like the cruiserweights that always feel like they need to prove themselves.
Right.
So they're doing these insane fucking head drops, or they're doing, dives to the outside of the ring, or crazy bumps everywhere. So maybe that's part of it, but I've never wanted to be a big guy wrestler. So
yeah, because I was gonna say you're not the typical big guy wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, I seen.
it's like I constantly get people that are just like, you don't have to do that shit. I'm like, but I want to.
Yeah.
I like it. Like, it's fun.
Yeah, I think that's the stuff that like really made me change my opinion about you. Remember, I was very vocal about Brody King.
Well, what was the most vocal thing you were about him? I mean, like,
I would tell him he sucked at any point
but
possible.
what
Changed my mind?
No, what made you think that he sucked first, and then what
Because
changed
he
your
was
mind?
just like a big guy and he was boring when he first came out. I was like, I'm not a fucking boring tall guy, dude.
Yeah.
I was boring. But as I started watching his matches, I was like, holy crap. Like, I was like, oh, that match was good. Oh, shit, that match was good. And yeah, little by little.
Now, when
It's like everyone's talking shit, and I've been doing it for like 6 months. I was like, give me some time, man.
I think his band had a lot to do with it, too, because I was like kind of like really into his band. So I think that helped a little. But yeah, no, but his work. It was his work. And it was none of that fucking online shit where he won me over by doing little promos or being stupid. He just wrestling. Just his wrestling. Simple as that.
Now, when you hear somebody like that you won over, and I mean, how do you feel?
I mean, honestly, when Ed came up to me at the show, he's just like, listen, man, you won me over. I'm a big fan. And I was just like, huh, Ed hates everybody. I must be doing something right.
That's
So-
right.
Is it hard when you see like a fans like him in the audience? Like, do you fuck? How do I win this guy over? Or you don't even think about it. You just do what you
some
do.
guys really get upset. Some guys really take what guys like Ed says personally, and they take it to heart, and it ends up eating them up and destroying them, and then they don't have fun wrestling. But like, I just see a guy like him, and then I just feel like I have to prove him wrong. So
Just by wrestling.
You just like giving these guys a hard time, man.
That's my job. That's my job at shows. It was Fern Owens, because I remember when I used to go to shows, he was training and he would go to shows and he'd be bored, so he would heckle the wrestlers. So I was like, dude, that guy's funny, and I've just emulated him. Now,
I think a big part of it too is like I do appreciate fans like Ed, because it's like, if everyone's there telling you how great you're doing, then you don't know what to really work on. But if there's one person in the crowd being like, you suck, like, and not in a way of like you're being a good heel, but in a way of like you are a bad wrestler, then you're just like, man, I need to chase some shit around or figure it out. Like,
What do you think right now is like your weakness, something you need to work on that you feel that you haven't?
I think a lot of it is just like the psychology of stuff is just like letting stuff breathe and letting being mindful of when to do certain things. Like, if you chop a guy in the corner, maybe give it a couple seconds before you go attack him again.
Yeah.
Because I've been known to kind of maul people a little bit. So, yeah.
There's a lot of psychology in wrestling, and people don't realize the psychology behind it. That everything happens
Oh, yeah.
for a reason, and I just learned that.
you have not gone to a SoCal show.
Oh no, I've seen
They try to do way too many spots, and I'm like,
there's a lot of things, like we go back to Lucha Libre, where I'm watching like a Lucha Libre show, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Like, like you said, somebody gets pile drive and they're up in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? You just got pile drive on the floor.
You
And
just
you're
got your neck broken on the
You're
floor.
up in like nothing. And,
Yeah.
unless you're Jeff Cobb, and
Well, he doesn't have a neck.
you let them up.
Yeah.
Now and the day now that kayfabe is pretty much dead. Do you feel like it's a good thing or a bad thing for you?
I mean, it's all. I just feel like it's my job to prove them wrong, to show them that it's not dead.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's the best feeling in the world is when people go, "Oh my God, is he hurt?"
Yeah.
And then you're just like, "I don't know, is he? Maybe he is." And then they go to the back, and then they see somebody else like, being worried. That's not usually where they go, well, that guy's his friend, and he's worried. Maybe he really is hurt. And it's what I really love about it is the getting in other people's heads and making them doubt themselves.
When they work you at a show and you're like you feel like
you got worked, right?
I get worked a lot. I'm like, that was dead, dude. And then later on, I just see the wink. I'm like, see, that's cool because it's like they're really working hard to make it believable. That's you appreciate that stuff. That's a smart thing.
Now you're still a fan, of course. And do you watch Raw, SmackDown? Do you not watch the big guys anymore?
I mean, when I can, I'll try to. I mean, 3 hours is a long time when you have a really long week ahead of you. But I try to watch at least the highlights, and if something's buzzing around, I'll check it out. But I try to keep up with like NXT. I like watching New Japan stuff a lot.
You have to stay up late for New Japan.
And then I try to just watch
it.
I just try to watch all the local stuff, like all the local guys. And like if I have a match with somebody that I don't know or I've never seen them work, I try to like find out about them and look up what they're about and what they've been doing.
NXT comes knocking tomorrow. You take it?
Oh, absolutely. That's
Is that the goal right there?
I mean,
that's not the worst question.
Hey,
if that's
how many people have you seen say no?
It's like, well, yeah, there's a lot of people that say that WWE is not their end goal, and if it's not, then what are you even doing?
Yeah, I mean, we've had guests here that have said, I've asked them, like, if WWE NXT comes knocking, would you say no? And I'll be like, well,
they're
maybe
lying
not.
to their teeth.
And that's what I say. It's like you don't play baseball, and if the Yankees say, you may not be a Yankee fan, but if the Yankees come say, we want you, you're going to take it.
But if you're like a real good wrestler, I think you'd rather be in NXT than in
I mean, it's like
SmackDown.
I look at it this way. Unless you're like the Young Bucks, you're going to say yes.
Yeah.
Because like they don't have to.
Yeah,
they don't need WWE money because they're making more.
Right.
So it's like they can go on their own terms.
It's like Joey Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Joey's the same way. Like he's made a very successful career just being him. So maybe that isn't the right step for him. But I mean, as far as any guy on my level, if you say no, you're a dumbass.
But then I wonder what you say. I mean, yeah, it's only WrestleMania. But I mean, I'm pretty sure they must think to themselves like, "Fuck, I want just that one WrestleMania match at least." Like a Joey Ryan or the Young Bucks might say, like, "I'll do at least one WrestleMania," because I think there's guys that have never.
I'd rather see Wrestle Kingdom than WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I mean,
I think it depends though. I mean, like, the Young Bucks, they're married, they have kids and stuff like that. So I think once it comes down to that, the priorities change.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not about the WrestleMania moment. I mean, I guess it's always in your head.
Right.
But it's about providing for your family the best way possible. And if they're really, they're killing it right now. And
yeah.
So they're giving their kids just about the best life that they can have while wrestling. So
and you're not on the road, 24/7. And then, I'm wondering if Vince McMahon ever retires and Triple H does take over. Can you see how he does NXT where he signs a guy for one show?
Yeah.
I wonder if the business will change to that point where maybe if Triple H takes over and there's a WrestleMania and the Young Bucks were available and he says, hey, I just want you to do this WrestleMania.
The Bucks will go eventually. They're just...
No, but I'm saying, can you guys see the business changing to that point, you think?
Yeah.
Like where it's not about the long contracts anymore. It's not about, you know what I mean? Like now you just want to sell that pay-per-view.
I don't know. I don't watch that. I just watch NXT.
You just watch NXT?
That's it.
Did you go to the NXT LA?
I didn't. I don't remember what I was doing.
That show's bad. Badass.
Who's your favorite wrestler right now? And it doesn't have to be WWE.
This is a hard question.
Your top three.
Currently, who do you watch? Like who's the?
I mean, in California, Jeff Cobb is definitely one of them. I mean, he's
all right.
Cobb has come such a long way.
He's a great big guy wrestler that can also do some crazy shit. Like you see him just manhandle people, and then he does a shooting star into a moonsault,
and then it's believable. Like
yeah.
Well, I mean, he really is doing it, but
it's undeniable. I think everybody is, but I'm a big Willie Mack mark.
Oh,
I think he pours charisma and like just being around him is just like is special.
Yeah.
Like you can't help but like hang when you're just like in the locker room with him. You're like marking out because he's funny and like he's just talented and he's just a good person to be around.
When he comes up to the merch table at Lucha, I just laugh, I smile because he comes in so positive and
he's genuine.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part of
when
it.
he asks you how you doing, like you feel like he's not just bullshitting you just to say, oh hey, he's like actually cares like how your day's going. Like,
I think my favorite current wrestler though probably right now is Kenny Omega.
Yeah. I think he'll be signed pretty soon myself. My prediction, he'll be there next year.
Think so? You think he'll go?
Yeah.
I also love the Young Bucks.
And the Young Bucks.
They blend like comedy wrestling and crazy spots in so well. And I think that's something special too. I also love guys like Chuck Taylor, and I mean even like Jervis Cottonbelly. When you can sell a crowd full of like wrestling fans on like comedy, I think that's very, very hard to do.
Yeah.
If you can make people go slow motion in a match.
Oh, dude.
That means that you're doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. The Kikutaros and like stuff like that. Those guys are incredible.
Wrestling is just for me it's the most entertaining.
You can have it all.
Yeah, it's just the most entertaining thing you can find, honestly. Because I've never seen anything that can make you cry, laugh, get pissed.
Well, it's like you have a guy like Brian Cage who comes out and he's undeniably a physical specimen that is going to destroy everything in his path. And then you have a guy like Kikutaro, who's like a fat Japanese guy in a mask, that's gonna come out and like they could have a match together and it would make sense. And you're just like, what the fuck is happening right now? But it's awesome, and that's why I love wrestling.
Yeah. What's 5 years from now? Where do you see yourself? Or where would you like to see yourself?
Where would I like to see myself? World champion. Realistically, hopefully, maybe going down that path. Maybe going down that path into NXT or something like that, or New Japan, or anywhere in Japan. I'll go anywhere in Japan. That's my favorite place in the world.
Yeah,
it's a truly special place. If anybody hasn't been there, I recommend that you go and go as quickly as possible.
Did you catch any wrestling while you were up there touring?
I did.
You trained as well, right?
Yeah. One of my trainers out here is Rocky Romero, and he was able to help me out and get some training with this guy named Hayate, who is a luchador in Japan. I don't know are they called luchadors in Japan when they wear masks and stuff?
I don't think so.
I
don't know. But he was like probably a 50-year-old little Japanese guy that was one of the craziest wrestlers I've ever been in the ring with. We did lucha training, and I don't speak Japanese, and he didn't speak English, but we both spoke lucha. So, like, we were able to kind of, like, get around by that. And he was doing the craziest shit I've ever seen. And I was just like, dude, how do people not know about you? That's the other thing I love about wrestling is that there's just so many hidden talents everywhere. Like, you just see these guys that are just like, you should be the biggest star in the world, and nobody knows who you are. That's crazy. But I got to go to a New Japan show at the Raigoku Hall. When Naito beat Okada.
Oh shit!
And dude, that was awesome.
That was a good show.
Roppongi Vice actually won the belts that night too, so it was really cool. It was really cool to be there. Japan respects wrestling like none other. We went into some stores that are just like they're like your store, but on steroids. They have everything. Magazines that are like back catalog like crazy. They have gear, like ring-worn gear from everyone. They have original Tiger masks in there.
Well, Norm shows you all this stuff, right?
Yeah, it's some pretty incredible stuff there.
That's what they tell me. They go, you got to get all that stuff. I'm like, Japanese wrestling fans and American wrestling fans are completely different. I mean,
it's big money.
Yeah.
Like these Tiger masks are like, $5,000. You're just like, someone's gonna buy it.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody. I think they sell these shirts that we have here for like $25. They sell them over there for like $40, $50.
Yep.
They sell them with no problem whatsoever, which is amazing to me. I need to move to Japan, honestly.
So, what's your next upcoming shows you're working?
I'm doing the PCW seminar with Kevin Sullivan and Sheik on Saturday, which is pretty cool. And then being in the ring with Kevin Sullivan is going to be insane.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like that to learn from someone like that's if you're not there, I don't know what you're doing. Like that's getting in the mind of somebody that has revolutionized wrestling. And then Sunday I'm doing championship wrestling from Hollywood. Next Saturday I'm doing OWA in San Diego, and then I have AWS coming up after that, which I'm really excited about.
That fucking welfare promotion. Hi, Bart.
Welfare promotion. Yeah, I'm really excited to be part of AWS. I've been watching them since I started wrestling in Southern California, and that was always kind of like the show to be on as far as like a local worker.
Yeah, that's my favorite show, like aside from PWG.
Oh yeah, it's because I mean he gets good talent and he runs a respectful promotion. I really appreciate that, and I get to wrestle someone like Andy Brown who.
Oh, I love Andy Brown.
Oh,
I love Andy.
He's
Brown.
great, and he's a guy that's kind of on top of the mountain in Southern California right now. So.
Damn, I didn't know you're gonna wrestle him. That's gonna be a good match.
Yeah.
You have your tickets?
I never buy tickets. I buy them at the end.
Fucking ass.
Bart can't get my money that fast.
Make Bart work for your money, huh? Do you want to plug your Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter?
Instagram is Brody X King. So is Twitter, and then Facebook is just Brody King.
Now, if somebody wants to hear some of the music, is there a certain?
Yeah, I mean it's available on iTunes and Spotify. God's Hate. It's also in pretty much any record store. Yeah.
Or you could YouTube full album.
Is that what you do?
Or you could YouTube.
or you can fire it again.
Again, goes on
for the
the
support.
No, I actually got it on
YouTube, the MP3.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just.
YouTube.
Wait, are you guys on YouTube? Like the album?
On YouTube?
Yeah, because I use YouTube Music.
We don't put that shit on there. I don't even know where it is. But yeah, Spotify and Apple Music is like the.
No, because on YouTube you could have your actual tracks there. There's a paid service, like $10. So
I don't know about that.
He's good.
Look into it.
You're pirating all the time.
We have PR people that take care of that.
Oh man, you're sad, man.
I keep it real, dude.
Shit, you could at least pay $10-12.
I did. I was doing it through Spotify.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would totally listen to your album all the time. I think that's what won me over.
He's lying. He listens to some Miley Cyrus. That's what he told me.
No, I listen to
Taylor Swift.
I listen to NES fucking.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with listening to Taylor Swift. I listen to a lot of pop music also.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. Gaga, Katy Perry. I hate the new Gaga album though.
Yeah, that one's pretty bad.
Disappointing.
Yeah. I didn't expect it to be that bad, honestly. I was like,
I listen to Drags. I listen to Drags music.
You listen to Drag Queen music?
Yeah.
I worked on 2 seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Did you?
That was an interesting experience.
What did you do?
What season?
I do lighting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Seasons. What season are they in right now?
I think there's 7 or 8, right?
So I did 7 and 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that the one with who won? Who's the most popular drag queen right now? Bianca. Is that the one with her? Bianca Del Rio?
No, Bianca was the season before.
Oh, okay.
She's funny as hell.
Yeah, she's my pick. I don't know why they haven't gotten. I always tell my son because he's a huge RuPaul. No, why she hasn't taken over for Joan Rivers on the.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, because I'm like she's as outspoken as
Katya. Of course,
dude, Katya is hilarious. She was on 2 of the seasons that I did.
How did we get into drag?
Me.
Podcast.
He likes it so.
I watch it,
dude. Honestly, when you start and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna," it's funny because some people are like, "Hey, so we're gonna do this show called Drag Race," and then some guys come in like, "Where are the cars?" And you're like, "Oh, brother, you are in for it." But yeah, I mean, at first you're just like, "This is kind of weird," and then you get like your picks, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's the guy or my girl, either one."
So me, it's Adore, Katya.
Yeah.
And what's that? Trixie.
Trixie. Trixie. Oh, my son
The
likes.
North, I think. The North. Oh, and Alaska Thunderfuck. Thunderfuck.
Dude, Alaska's weird.
I don't know any of their names, but we were watching All Stars. Yeah,
This current one?
Yeah, the last one, and it's a little short one. He had the black wig, and probably if you name her, I'll probably remember. But I was like, I look at him sometimes. I'm like, damn, I better never get divorced because I'm like, I can't tell. So I'm like, shit.
This tribute, how they transform themselves.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
There was one, I think the last season. I don't know if he was.
That's why. That's another thing is that when some guys start, they get real uncomfortable. And they're like, yeah, I mean, and then you're just like, you can just say, man, she's hot. Like,
Yeah,
it's true.
I caught myself. I'm telling you, the last season that
but I could see that though.
the real the one that I think she won second place in last season, real thin, and she always came out like half naked, pretty much all the time.
I mean, like 2 seasons ago.
Was it 2 seasons?
Violet.
The one that won? No,
Violet.
Violet won. Yeah, that was
Violet.
one of the seasons I
Oh.
did.
The real skinny one, the one that did Lucha Ball.
no, the other one. I'll have to find out. My son knows, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, no, wrong. David, wake up. My son would love you then. He's going to be like, hook me up with some to go see the behind the scenes. My son loves that show, RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, it's a good show. I saw season 1.
It's
and
funny. My wife watches it all the time.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best reality shows on TV,
Yeah.
honestly.
It doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
it's
I
fun
think that's
with
what's
stuff all
great
the
about
time. RuPaul's a great host. I mean, I can't.
Nice person too.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
Or she? I don't know.
Heat.
Yeah.
Well,
Rusin, he's out of drag more than he is like in
Really?
drag. Yeah.
wow.
And he's got style too. He's got some crazy suits and like these hats. I was like, damn, you were
It's
fucking
crazy.
fly.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen him once, and I was like, dude, I'm like, he looks clean. And then like I saw him in drag, and I'm like, damn,
He's tall.
he looks clean.
He's tall as fuck too.
Yeah.
Like he's taller than me
No way.
without heels on. And then he's like even taller. You're like, damn.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because people are gonna look at him and they're gonna be like, "You watch RuPaul's Drag Race?"
There's a lot of things that people wouldn't expect. I have a Lady Gaga tattoo on my leg.
Oh no way!
No
I
way.
swear to God.
Yeah, I like Gaga because I'm a big Bowie fan.
Yeah.
So, you know, I love that she loves Bowie. So, you know, that's why she does her whole changing outfits in her concerts and all
Right.
that. She's a big Bowie fan. So
Yeah.
to me, I was like,
Oh, I love Bowie. I was a big Bowie fan. I love the tribute she did for him, but I'm just like, I'm disappointed in the new album. I'm just
Yeah.
like, that's just for how many years did she have off? 2, 3 years, 4 years with that new album?
Well, I think it was 3 or 4. Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought it would be a little more.
I mean, it's getting like critically praised, and I mean, I don't know. It's just not what I wanted out of a Lady Gaga record.
I'm just like, maybe I'm losing my touch with music now, I guess.
Nah, yeah, she went more of a like country, I don't know, gospel-ish route.
Yeah,
That's just not been my favorite stuff.
yeah. I expected more pop and I don't know. Just
The weird stuff.
yeah, just
I
what
like
she's
the
always
weird
done. And just kind of let me down, I guess.
learning about you.
You know what? I always tell everybody I'm one of the few straight Madonna fans in the world.
I love Madonna.
Do you?
I love
I
Madonna.
finally found.
You said straight.
Well, because there's a lot. That Tower Records. Real quick before we wrap up, Tower Records when they used to release the albums at midnight. My friend goes, I just turned 17 or 18, and I know I was driving, and I said, hey, why don't we go to Tower? We'll go buy the new Madonna CD. And he's like, all right. We're standing in line. They're in line and see all guys in the line. I'm like, oh, geez, a lot of guys here. What's going on here? So me and my friend are just standing there like, okay, it's about 11:40, 11:45. Okay, cool. It's almost time. And then I just hear these guys go behind me say, oh, my God, look how cute. They're starting so young. They're such a young, cute couple. I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, so I started, like, then I focused and I'm like, now I know why there's all guys in this line. Yeah, and then I met a guy that was a gay
you
guy.
met a guy?
I met a gay guy later on that told me Madonna was considered like the gay god or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, she had good music. She has good music.
It's all right. Real, she's all right.
I wanted to come out to Like a Prayer until I found that Grado does it.
Oh, Just remake it.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Look for a cover.
do a cover.
I know I told you to do a cover.
That'd be weird.
Or come out to like a surgeon.
Like a surgeon. Is there any song you would like to come out to like that? Besides like a prayer.
Nah, I like coming out to my own music because then it's like that's just all me.
Yeah.
And then when people are like, "Who's that band that you come out to?" It's like my band. They're like, "What?" You're like, yeah.
I think it's cool when you know you're one of the few.
I've also ran into people where they're like, "Who's that band you come out to?" I was like, "Oh, it's God's Hate," and it's like, "Oh, I know that band." I'm like, "Yeah, I sing for it." They're like, "What?" And you're like, "You know the band, but you don't know that I'm in it."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just like probably on the XM or something.
Yeah.
Just see the title and they're good to go. And who's your any artist that you looked up to musically?
I mean, like I was all over the place growing up. Like I said, Bad Religion, Pennywise, and AFI. I really liked the groundwork, but then I got into bands like Slipknot and stuff like that. I was into metal music, Slayer, Slipknot, and then I started getting into like death metal music. But I mean, one of my biggest idols, I guess you could say, was like always been Henry Rollins of Black Flag, because he's a genius. He's super smart, and he's like, punk rock guy at heart. So
before we wrap up, music wise, is there anything that you listen to that we would not expect you besides Gaga?
I think we
found out that,
Yeah,
but I'm
think-
saying like classical or country or
I like old country, like Hank Williams and
Party Feathers.
yeah.
That was me, dude. I grew up with like country, rockabilly, thrash, all kinds of shit. But I also like a lot of gay shit.
I'm all over the place when it comes to music. Like I like some rockabilly and some psychobilly stuff, and then I like punk rock, some country. I mean, even recently at work, people have been just playing the country radio, and like now I'm like almost like singing along to them. Like, what the hell happened? Like, how do I do this?
It used to happen to me when I used to work at Save On. I used to go home singing all the songs. Be like, what the fuck am I singing?
Yeah, I'll go from listening to stuff like Madonna straight into listening to like death metal. So it's
I do that. I do that with Lana Del Rey, and I don't know where I'm like fucking listening. Have you heard Usher and Death Machine?
oh, this is terrible.
That shit's hilarious.
It's junk music.
I listen to that at work, and my coworkers are like, what the fuck are you listening to? No.
All right, so I want to thank you again for coming on the show. We got to let you get the training.
Yeah, of course.
And then I want to give a couple plugs. Make sure you guys check out FCW on November 12th, with the main event being Rob Van Dam versus Pentagon Jr. And you can get tickets. Oh, no, or it's sold
They're
out.
sold out, I think.
They're sold out, but you can try to get tickets at the door. And then we have
I think they also
AWS.
have their streaming site now.
Yeah.
With whatever the same one with Evolve.
Let's
So
see.
you can get the iPay per view.
Wrestling network or whatever.
Yeah, the Wrestling Network. Or for more information, check out PacificCoastWrestling.com. And then you have AWS on Saturday, November 26th. Brody King will be a part of that show along with.
Going down, Andy Brown.
Yep, and you also have Team Hate versus Mariachi Loco Espiritu, Mike O'Shea, and two mystery partners. Have they announced the two mystery partners yet?
I don't pay attention to Bart shit.
And the main event is
My tag partner, Tyler Bateman.
versus Ray Rosas. And then
See, that's the only thing I read.
also want to thank one of our newest sponsors for the show, Scarlet and Graves. They're apparel, so make sure you check them out on scarletandgraves.com. Once again, come to the Wrestling Guy store. We have your WWE fill, WWE fill, and Lucha Underground fill merchandise. So, we got enough Lucha Underground merch, as you can see right here.
Just some Undertaker socks. Those are pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
look, we got the socks. We're going to turn it around. Look at Undertaker socks. Are badass, actually. One of my favorite. And right next to it is Sting and, of course, Stone
I
Cold.
think my favorite part is the Paul Bearer on the bottom.
Yeah, that's a good add. I think without it would have been weird.
Well, for all of us here at the Wrestling Guy podcast, thank you again. We're out of here.
Thank you.